Welcome back, everybody, to Dan-A-Plooza. I am your host, Dan the Man, and we are with the very amazing, beautiful, and talented. Let's give a virtual round of applause for Roxie. And let's also give a virtual round of applause for Dionysus. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about some events coming up. So, for Juneteenth fundraiser for Dionysus, it's at the Arrows events. They're recognizing ongoing disparties experienced by the Black performers here in Pittsburgh. So let's help Dionysus get the stability they need to be able to continue and share their art and thrive. So you can go ahead. Here is the info for Dionysus info. There's the Cash App and Venmo. 20% of ticket sales for June's Rope, Join, and Fire Intensive will be going directly to Dionysus. We will also happily accept cash donations at Millville Pride on 6/14th, and you still have time, or the swim hang on, which is 6/22, which should be around the corner. So direct mutual aid is the single most impactful way to take a meaningful step towards the ongoing fight for Black liberation. So these are very important events, and support that. And finally, we are going to mention the last thing that we are promoting. This is for a GoFundMe, and here is the link. So go ahead and support that. And Dionysus, what is this for this GoFundMe link?
So this is for basically a place called the Lighthouse. My friends are big advocates for community here. And they're buying this place to basically start different programs where we match up queer youth with older older queers so they can see what older queers look like, and this is what queer joy is as you progress later in life. They will be doing burlesque shows. We as far as like Arrow, that's also helping me with the fundraiser. Arrow will be doing events that are kink friendly and adult friendly. um as with like also like rope information and like kink and sexual education so you can like be safe and have fun out there. Amongst other things.
All right. Well, that is for a good cause. So make sure to follow and support and donate where you can. So we appreciate anything that you're able to give as support. So now we're going to go ahead and move forward. All right. And here we all are. All right. So let's go ahead and let's start with a question. So, what do you most like about burlesque? And we will start with Roxie.
So I started dancing burlesque about a year and a half ago. And what I really, really love about this art is just the creative freedom that comes with it. I come from a musical theater and a ballet background, and it's so amazing to be in this space where you get to create everything from the ground up. Like there's rules per se, but there really is a lot of creative freedom that you get. I love being able to be the choreographer and the artistic director and the costume designer and get to come up with an idea that I have in my head and create it. And there's nobody that can say, no, that's not what I want. So I'm like, nope, it's what I want to do. So I'm going to do it. So I love that.
And I think that that's a great experience. I've known several burlesque performers, and normally they start with the theater background, and eventually move on further. So, all right, moving on. Dionysus, are you still with us? Okay, so we'll see. Maybe she's having a camera glitch problem. So let's go ahead and continue on. Um, oh, I hear music. I hear sounds. Are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still here. Sorry about
Okay.
that. I had to run and get my charger. I didn't look down and realized it was not charging.
Okay. All right. So what do you most like about burlesque, Dionysus?
Um, what I like most about burlesque is the found community. Community is really important to me, and it was really hard at first to find comfort in like the burlesque community, but I found friends that actually helped me. Like a lot of my burlesque pieces are have been like sewn or bejeweled on by a lot of my friends. Um, and like the outgoing support always. And being able to like brag about it but forget that burlesque is a big deal. I'm like, yeah, I just do burlesque. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it's like, no, it's not what you think. I'm just an ordinary girl.
You're an ordinary girl living in a burlesque world. It's an amazing question, and it's an amazing experience, and I'm glad that you guys have had amazing experiences. Um, if anything I can do to help you, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to promote you and to go forward and to connect you with other people. That's why I designed this. So, do you have any questions for me? Sometimes people like to ask me questions as well.
How did you first get interested in the burlesque world?
That's a very good question. I will give the short story. I won't go into the long tail. So we used to have a burlesque group where I lived. Um, it was kind of a small time, and I think the problem is because I live kind of more in a rural area. It's not like big city or anything. I think it doesn't get the amount of support that it does. And so I ended up taking pictures and video for the performers at some of their events just with my phone. I'm just moving,
Hmm.
grooving. But yeah, there was a Halloween show that I did. There was a burlesque show, and then somebody hired their own party and they did a circus show. So it was all circus. And it was interesting because they did the number from Rocky Horror, and we had someone who was a ballet dancer, and there was someone who could do contortions, and there was someone who could play with fire, and it was good. But the problem, and I don't know if you guys experienced this problem, the problem is the venues didn't really want to pay sometimes the full price of performers, and it's kind of hard because you know we're talking about just like a small town and maybe like 50 people in the room or something like that, and some people know to tip, some people don't know what to do. And then the thing is like the venue would be like, oh, well, I thought you would pack this, or I thought, I don't think they understand the concept of it as just it's a performing art. Like I think sometimes they're more on money and it needs to fill the whole room and we need to, get the most for that. And I felt bad for performers because sometimes they wouldn't get, tipped, or people didn't know what to do. I went to a show in Morgantown, and pretty much nobody in the audience had seen burlesque. And so when I was tipping the performer, like nobody knew that, I'm like, you take $1 and you tip. and then and
Right.
everybody else is like, oh, I'm like, yeah, well, So it just drove me kind of wild that like people didn't know what to do. Like some people thought they could just sit there and just drink their beer, and like they had like, there was some of them that had like no emotional response at all. They were just like blank canvas. And I think that's one of the hardest things is when you do a venue that's like not used to it, they don't know how to react. And so sometimes I know people look to me because I have a theater background, so I knew to do that. So sometimes it's like, oh, I see someone doing this, I can do this, you know, and everything. And we had a mixed age of reactions. We had people who were my age, we had people who were younger, and then we had people who were their seniors, you know. So, you know, it was just like they didn't know like what to do. They're like, do we clap? I'm like, yes, this is horrible.
Right. Yeah, it's not like a theater where you have to wait until it's done. You can clap
Oh yeah,
throughout.
like some
And
of them
yeah.
didn't do that. They're like $1. I'm like, no, I'm gonna take that $5 of yours, put it over here, because you did nothing. But it's and then when COVID happened, it like imploded, and then we had the virtual realm where I saw virtual performances, and I met Miss Lady Legs from Burlesque and Chill and Fanny Sinclair, and I started watching those shows, and it was nice because it was like watching it from here. But the problem with those shows is sometimes it would be glitchy, and then when everything got back to normal, it was like, okay, well, we make more events live than virtual, you know. So, but it's like I can't go to California to go watch this. I can't go to Arizona, so it was nice with the whole virtual thing. But you know, I think it's hard to perform as a virtual performer because you don't get that crowd reaction, you know. You just get emojis, you know. So sometimes I'd be like, all right, 10 winky face, clap, dollar bill, you know. I'm just trying to get something, you know. And it's like,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know what
true
that
because it's such an interactive art,
yeah.
you know?
And it's really hard, especially the person hosting it, because they got to make sure the next person's going on. They got this stuff, their prop, their camera falls. What do we, you know? So it's a really interesting show. But we had one where they did a 90s theme, and someone did Helga Pataki from Hey Arnold, and she did a whole burlesque number, and she had the head too, like she had the head like there of Arnold, and she was that, and then she was the Swedish chef from Muppets.
Oh my gosh.
And she had, her name is Heather or Heidi Ho, and she had puppets, and they would go burr, 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 and so it was hysterical. But that's how I got started. So that's as short as the answers I could give it, because I was
awesome.
in there for quite a while. But I guess we'll spin the wheel and have impressions now.
Yes, do it.
Let's do it. All right, we're going to start with Zazu from The Lion King. These are all Disney impressions. So just let me know. I time it so no copyright strikes. Because like some of my stuff has gotten pulled off TikTok because of me singing it. Like I did Beetlejuice, and they're like, "No, you're not Alex Brightman." And then they're like, "Use Alex Brightman's song." I go, "Okay." I thought my voice was funny, but okay. Thank you, TikTok. All right, are you ready? And here we go. Good morning, sire. Let me tell you about the morning report. The morning report. We got the wildebeest, the buffalo, and the hippopotamus, and it's all quite a mess. It's just the morning report. I can give you the long or the short. Now listen, Miss Prince Simba. I know you want to be king, but you're not quite ready yet. You know, you have a lot to learn. All right. So there we go.
Yay! Bravo.
Okay, that was spot on though.
Oh, thank you. I love that he's so nasally. So that's it's fun playing those characters. My first performance was Lion King. Growing up as a child, I sang and did impressions of Timon and Pumbaa and Simba for a talent show. So,
oh, that's awesome! How cool!
and the first thing I had was a boom box with a cassette. Play it again. Play it. Let me fix the wing. So, all right. So what I want to know is from both of you, what is one of your favorite props to use in a burlesque act? And we'll start with Dionysus.
So I guess my favorite prop to use recently has been stuffed animals.
Oh, there you go.
Um I it's really cute. I get to beat them around a lot. They're very easy to lug around. um And if I get tired at an event, I have a certified pillow. So that's one of my favorite props.
Awesome.
There you go. What about you, Roxy?
So for props, I really love gloves. I know it's a very basic answer, but I love like a long opera glove. I would love to use a boa one day. I haven't done it yet, but I absolutely love big feather boas and the glamour of that.
That's oh wow, that's such an amazing. Yeah, I love the props, and I that was part of my job. I used to be a prop master, but I really like a good feather boa, and I like the gloves, and I thought that was such a cute answer, Dionysus, with the stuffed animal.
Thank you.
Um, Props that I've had. Oh wow, I've had many props for many shows. I think I used to have to take care of a dog backstage for a show, so that was used as a prop. It's a Jack
That's
Russell Terrier,
crazy.
Oof,
and
that's quite a job.
I used to have to tire him out before he went on stage because it was like the Diary of Anne Frank play going on. So I used to take
Oh,
him
wow.
backstage and blow bubbles and run with him, and still then he would like be sleepy tired, But um, I had injured my finger at the time, and he used to try and bite my finger too. He used to be like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr." And I'd be like, with the bubbles. But I would say that, and then there was a Christmas tree. There was a play where I had to move like 5 Christmas trees and move them in
Oh my
different comedic fashion, and like it was a redneck play. So for one redneck play, there was a cactus tree, and I put cigarettes like around the tree, like garland. Like I put cigarettes, I put beer bottles, and
That's great. Like a Marlboro.
yeah, like Marlboro. And I used to pretend my character would drink and pass out by the cactus and everything, and so it was setting those up and then driving the scooter in the lot. It was like a Christmas scooter for an old lady. I used to have to drive it in my Christmas attire. And people used to point and stare. So, but yeah, I'll have to show you that. I look like something right out of Bad Santa movie.
That
There.
sounds like a fun show.
It was. The actors had 13 parts. That is 2 actors, and they had to be women and older people. It's called like a Tuna Christmas. So,
Okay, I did backstage for a show a few years ago. It was, I think it's called Every Christmas Story Ever Told, and it was kind of similar. There was 3 actors, and they played like Scrooge, like every single Christmas movie, and we had to change their costumes. They each had like 30 costumes
oh
each
my
for the,
gosh.
yeah, it was insane.
yeah. So yeah, they had Robert. Oh my goodness, he had to play like a waitress. He had to then there was another character, and they had to go through these costume changes. So it was my job to change the scenery, and pretty much silent movie act while they were getting in their costumes.
Got it.
It's but yeah. There's a whole story. We could talk about that after the show. But all right, I guess we'll do another impression. Is there a character you want to hear? I'll tell you
Disney.
who we have, Roxy. We have Scar, Ursula, Darkwing Duck, Aladdin, Jack Skellington, the Mayor from Nightmare Before Christmas, Hades, Monterey Jack, Rescue Rangers, Scuttle, and Jafar.
Ooh, Jack Skellington, maybe.
All right.
I feel like I've never heard anyone do Jack, so
It is one of my favorites to do, and I have met the actor Chris Sarandon, who does the voice of Jack,
oh, that's awesome.
because people get confused that he sings and Danny Elfman does the music part.
Right.
All right, are you ready?
Yep.
Yes.
What's this? What's this? There's something in the air. What's this? What's this? No, that's not the right door. It's the one shaped like a Christmas tree. Sorry, my friend. Go ahead and put him back. What does it mean? What does it mean? Oh, just another Halloween. But you're the Pumpkin King. Professor, could you do something for me? Could you make me one of these? Oh, and the Christmas hat. How nice. What a nice touch with that. Oh, that's been dead for too much long. All right.
Great drawing.
So, yeah, there is, if you're interested, I have a virtual with Ken Page who did Oogie Boogie.
Oh, cool.
He did Oogie Boogie, and then he was also in Cats on Broadway.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
that's so cool.
And he talked like about the study of cats for the character. So I don't know if you're fans of Cats. I mean, I like the musical.
I love Cats.
The music is good, and the dancing I love.
Oh yes. Midnight.
I actually dressed up as Rum Tum Tugger for I was a show kitten, but it was a cats themed like it was. So the show is called Pss, 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 and it was,
Oh
everyone had to
yes.
come as a favorite cat. So it was pretty fun.
That's awesome.
I feel like I would come as Garfield.
There was someone who performer who was Garfield, and he kept ripping off papers saying he hated Mondays. And every day he would go like Tuesday, Wednesday, and it would just go back to Monday. And he jumped on a bunch of Legos, and that's how bad he hated Mondays.
It would be so cute to have Garfield and then someone be normal, and then he just like tries to get rid of her. All right. So let's say that this is kind of like a little bit of a fantasy question. Let's say you can perform in any kind of dream town to do burlesque, be it Transylvania, be it in Cuba, be it in, Italy. So where would you like to perform a burlesque act in anywhere in the world?
I would probably say like Brazil or Thailand. Um, I think I would just get a lot of like praise. I'm not gonna lie, because like a lot of Brazilian people and Thai people, like their style is like very flamboyant,
Mm-hmm.
and I definitely like to bring like that flamboyancy and like that heat and flavor to my burlesque. Um, so I think I would be like have a warm welcome there.
Yep, I think that would be really good, and I'd say a little spicy, maybe a little spicy.
It's a little spice.
Just a little spice with my flam.
Yeah, I
All
could see like a really colorful costume and like feathers, and that'd be awesome. I think for me, it was kind of like a toss up. At first, I thought of Paris because I love like, Moulin Rouge and all that, or like France in general. And then I'm like, actually, I feel like New Orleans actually would be where I really would love to perform because I love the jazz there and like the whole witchy kind of vibe there. I feel like would work for my style.
And you could also pull in a lot of like that Paris persuasion into it, especially if we do New Orleans and stuff,
That's
because
very
they already
true.
have. That'd be really cool.
French influence, yeah, that would be my dream.
For me, obviously not performing, but to watch. I feel like I would like to see one in Transylvania, kind of like, like with a house, and like for someone to maybe be Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein, and the doorman can be Igor, like, enter, you know, and do that. And then, like, you know, the tips, and he could be sweeping the tips up, you know, like at the end.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
So I'd like for him to see that. And I feel like for one of the numbers, he could use a toggle switch, you know, and there could be like some stuff, and then you can unveil, and then there's the Bride of Frankenstein.
Ideas.
But yes, I dibs on if you need an Igor, because I will play the crap out of that part. Like, we're not ready yet.
I can see that.
Yeah. So, and I feel like if I could like ring a bell or something like that too. Time for burlesque. Everyone get in. So, all right. Any other characters you want to hear? What about you, Dionysus?
You
said Star earlier, so I don't know if you're still.
I think I'm gonna change my mind and go with Jafar instead.
Okay.
Good one.
It is a good one. All right, let me get my timer out. Okay, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So tell me about Prince Aladdin. Iago, I know what I'm doing, but we need that straight rat to get us into the Cave of Wonders. Genie, how about for my third wish? I want to be an all-powerful genie. Way to go, Al. Look at me, I'm an all-powerful genie. Jafar, aren't you getting something? Remember? Little lamp? No! So, sure enough, I met Jonathan Freeman, who voices Jafar. And when I met him virtually, he goes, "Is this Daniel Hawkins?" And I'm like, "It is I." Like, is this because I had my Jafar hat? He's like, "Are you Jafar?" I'm like, "Some say it is so." But he talked about performing for the movie and on Broadway, because he's also Jafar on Broadway.
So I didn't know that.
He does both. I met him and then Linda Larkin, who does the voice of Jasmine.
How cool.
And Scott Winger, who does the voice of Aladdin. And
wow.
Yeah, he was from Full House. Do you remember Steve? He was DJ's boyfriend. He's a football guy.
Interesting.
Always in the fridge. But I asked him what he normally gets, and people always ask, "Do you trust me?" Like, he'll be like, walk on the street, and they'll be like, "Do you trust me?" Like, "Oh, let's go. Okay, I gotta go." So, but I've done Aladdin so many times. I've sung A Whole New World. For my musical theater class, I was Aladdin, and my partner was Jasmine.
Oh, that's fun.
And then
That's
someone
cute.
just pulled the rug for us to play. Paul. It's a short ride. But yes. So as we wrap it up here on Dan-A-Plooza, would you like one more question?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. You know, there are many duos that we look like in history. We look in, you know, there's always Bonnie and Clyde. We also look at various performers. Sometimes, you know, we've had Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Chip and Dale. These are a lot of cartoon references. Boris and Natasha from Rocky and Bullwinkle. So I'm just curious, if you two were to work together and team up, what kind of cartoon duo would you make together?
Okay.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I know. I'm trying to think. I'm like, I don't know why like Timon and Pumbaa is coming to mind, but I don't know which one of us would be which.
I don't know. I was thinking like what I know it was like for the Adams family there was Morticia, but there was like their cousin that came to stay who was like wearing all black
Cousin
hats.
It.
No, not no. I think also it was the Munsters when they had like a little like person who was like completely different from the entire like family. Like she always wore like
Oh,
white, like
their
yellow.
their
Oh,
daughter, yes,
okay.
with the blonde hair, yes.
Mm.
Um, I would like to. I'll go ahead and give my thing. Um, could you do something where it's like maybe something like from which one is it? Who could you do something like maybe the Wicked Queen in Snow White, where she looks into the mirror, and do that, and then do Snow White, or could you do where there's a duo together? I'm just trying to think of of a female. I don't really know, like of a female cartoon duo off the top of my head. I was gonna say Rescuers Down Under, but that's
Oh, maybe we can do like what is it? Princess Peach and Princess Daisy?
there
Oh
you
yeah, that's true.
go. I think that would go really well. Yeah. So yeah,
Better than Cousin It.
Daisy. Yeah. If I could be Waluigi. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up Dan-A-Plooza. I want to thank my beautiful guests, Dionysus and Roxie. Thanks for supporting Dan-A-Plooza. I will be back on Sunday with my pinup guest, Casey Corvette. Stay tuned. Keep supporting Dan-A-Plooza. Go ahead and support Dionysus and all of her fundraisers, and make sure to follow her. Make sure to follow Roxie. The sky's the limit for both these amazing, beautiful ladies. Keep supporting them, and have a good night.
Good night.